Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to remove the front forks and change the oil in the front forks in a Yamaha C3. But this should apply in a lot of scooters and even motorcycles. The reason I'm changing the fluid in the forks is because the ride is extremely rough on the C3, and I figure a different oil will really help out. So let's get started. You want to put it just so it lifts up the front end of the C3. You don't have to put a lot of pressure or anything. You have a 9/16 wrench, and that's going to fit here, also going to fit here. Now the axle should be loose. Lift up on the tire, and here comes the axle. That's the axle for the front tire. And what I like to do is put the nut on one end, and make sure you put this all aside. The good thing about the C3, you can put it inside the compartment here so you don't lose it. There we go. Now we should be able to just dangle this like that. Yep, 9/16. I'm just going to put this here using a wrench. I don't know if you guys can tell. And that's pretty loose. You don't have to remove it, I don't think. Using a 10mm, just put it on top and undo it, and it'll come out. And slide the fork down. The scooter has in the forks is a 15 weight fork oil, which is what I use on my motorcycles. But what I heard, to make the suspension much better, you want to use a 20 weight oil. So this was $10 from Cycle Gear, and I am going to start by removing the oil in the forks. It's really interesting that these tiny little forks are what's holding up the suspension on the C3. They're absolutely tiny. So let's get started. And now you just put it this way. This is the left. Now if you wanted to rebuild this fork with emulators, or really rebuild the fork, there's a bolt down here that you unscrew, and all of it would break. It's a conventional fork, so it's very easy to work on. You could also get different springs, but I don't have different springs, I just have these. And that's that. Now let's clean the forks and the springs, and then reinstall it and put oil in. This is the cup I'm going to be using, and I've marked an indication over here, if you can tell, where 44.45 is. You want 44.3. Just let's see, too much. Let's put a little bit more here. I'm just gonna pour it in. And now you have your spring, and just drop it in there nice and slowly. And that's that. Now let's put this aside. And that's pretty much it. So let's flip this up and just put the oil in. Now we're gonna fit our spring in here, and that's that. So slide the fork in until it hits the top, and then you're going to tighten this up. That way you can push the thing down, the cap down, without resistance. Push down on the spring, and just kind of twist it. There we go. And it's on there. Now let's go over to the other side. Work up like this until it hits. Now it's on there. We're going to take our cap And if you push down a little bit on the fork, it goes down. Now we're just going to take our socket and tighten this up. We got our wheel here. We have our axle. What I like to do with the axles is put a little bit of grease on there. That's what installing the new fluid on the Yamaha C3 looks like. It's a pretty simple job. You just have to remove a lot of plastic, but once you get that out of the way, it's very simple. It doesn't use up a lot of oil, and the oil that you get in 1 quart will last you probably a lifetime. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.